Alright there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos. And since I last updated you, I was doing my review currently on the Barcelona-Manchester United game. There has been a lot of scenery has changed since then. There's a lot more things that I've currently updated that's going on in and around the transfer rumours. Let's start off with Emil Forseberg, currently who plays for Red Bulls. There has now been a change of scenery in this. Mourinho is now confident. He is now giving up getting the pursuit of Ivan Perisic, and that looks like now this transfer for Ivan Perisic is going to be basically come inflated because they're still demanding. They want that £48 million that currently Di Marzio had announced. We know Ed Wood was gone on the tours. To try and discuss things through with Mourinho and try and get deals finalised. But now the media had been speculating this was supposed to be done last Monday, never happened. Then it was going to be announced in the next 48 hours, never happened. Went to China with the rest of the Inter Milan squad. Looks very, very unhappy. He did say he wanted to basically force the move from Inter Milan. But now it's going to come now inconclusive and the transfer is going to become inflated. We've currently had 3 bids rejected currently for Ivan Perisic. But they are still demanding, they basically want that £48 million, which is way too much for the likes of Ivan Perisic. We've had 3 bids rejected. Even the agents basically tried to finalise the deal. This has been stemming since March, and now Inter Milan are very, very confident. They said he's an important thing and they're confident now they can offer him a new deal to stay with Inter Milan. They've also tried including Martial as part of the deal of Inter Milan. Also, the directors of Inter Milan were resisted to any offer and they were confident that he was going to be staying. But they've had talks, there has been discussions going on. It's been one of his targets, he's tried to get him on the board. Inter Milan have been stubborn, we're playing hardball, they want £48 million. But now, Jose Mourinho's now turned his attentions on another player. He's currently now going to be giving up on Ivan Perisic. And the manager did say he was trying to find an alternative replacement so Perisic could leave to come and experience a Premier League facility. He is a class player, he's good, he's quick, he's good at driving forward, he's highly experienced as well. He's been with Wolfsburg, he's been Borussia Dortmund, but it just looks like now, guys, it's not going to happen. And now Jose Mourinho has turned his attentions on Emil Forseberg from currently Red Bulls. He's currently younger than Perisic. He's 25 years of age. I think he's 5 foot something. He's a player that's done fantastically well with the Red Bulls. He's currently been at Malmo in the past as well. He's currently won the Swedish Player of the Year before, as well as this current player. He'd be a very, very important figure. But now reports are suggesting that Mourinho's interested in signing the current 25-year-old. Apparently, there has been negotiations going on. Jose Mourinho has had discussions with currently the players, Forseberg's agent, to try and basically finalise a deal and potentially make a move for the player. I'm not quite sure if he does want to come. This player, he's a player that last season had a part to play in them finishing second in their current league, getting into Champions League football. I think he also produced 9 goals last season, but he did get in his static 19 assists last season. But yeah, there's been talks about this. It's updated today. I think they have rated him as around about a £44 million player. We could potentially be putting in a £50 million bid for this Emil Forseberg. Jose Mourinho, over the entirety of summer, he said it's very important that we get that dedicated width. We need that creative winner that can put balls into the box. Perisic can do that. His stats are overall dramatic. Perisic's. He's a player that can cross balls into the box. He's got tremendous speed, not Galactico. But I think the comparison, these two players, Perisic is older, he's younger. Obviously, Perisic might slightly add more of the experience, but this player, as I've read, his stats are dramatic. They've quoted him out as very versatile. He's got good distribution. He's good attacking. He's also very good defensively. He's good at driving forward. Also, this player is good at physically going around defenders as well. And he's versatile. I think he can play in other positions as well, can this player. But he delivered the goods fantastically well last season. There has been discussions going on with Mourinho and the players' representatives. I don't know if they're willing to sell him. Are they resisted to sell him? I do not know if they are currently willing to sell the player. But now looking like the Perisic deal is off, when Perisic had claimed he'd have a toothache, had a dental problem, trying to accelerate the move, and we was getting somewhere. There was trying to demand Martial in the deal. There was basically, they've held Inter Milan have held that £48 million basically, since basically that time we'd been in discussions about getting him for €35 million. Di Marzio was the guy that announced this. The Italian journalist, who's very reliable when it comes to this. He hasn't really got much right so far as Di Marzio, but looks like it's been up and down. One point it looks like the deal was going to be off. He was going to be off a new contract. He was forcing the move. Looked realistically like he was coming, Perisic, and now all of a sudden we're back to square one. Looks like he is not currently coming to Manchester United. Probably end up signing another deal with Inter Milan, so it looks like the deal's off. But we've now turned more of attention on Emil Forseberg. I've looked at his stats, his comparison to Perisic. Overall, with his style of play, I think he's dramatically better than Perisic. He can cross balls into the box. He's versatile, which is also good for your team. Very efficient, good at driving forward. He also in the team with him is Naby Keita. I think have rejected a bid from Liverpool. So they may be reluctant to maybe sell these players because they may be two key figures in Red Bull's team for them to currently sell. I do not know, but there has been discussions going on about this. But he's older as Perisic, but he's got more experience. But this Forseberg style of play is dramatically better than even Perisic's. We'll have to see what happens, but I think we're willing to plot around about a 50 million bidding for this player. Also, Ronaldo Sanchez, that looks like, well, it wasn't basically one of Jose Mourinho's main priority targets. No. It wasn't really one of Jose Mourinho's main priority targets. It had gone back in January 2016 when the Portuguese newspapers or something, was it Portuguese, something we'd been interested in getting the player. He's a player that hasn't had the starts. He's had irregular starts with Bayern Munich. He's been at Benfica in the past. He's got young age talent. He's got experience behind, but he needs to gain more. But he hasn't had much of that experience at Bayern Munich. His expectations have gone downhill because he expects to get first team football, playing on a regular basis, which he currently hasn't done. Because you've got the likes of Vidal there, they've got the likes of James Rodriguez there, and they've got other players that they've bought in as well. And they've got a fantastic manager, fantastic fan base, fantastic history, and he wants to be playing at a team of that level. He wants to be getting regular first team football. He currently hasn't got that first team football. He's only made 17 appearances, no goals last season or no assists, but his fantastic performances, his glowing reputation in the Euro 2016 was absolutely sublime. There has been talks with AC Milan. They've done well so far that they could get him on the board. They had been negotiating, but I think they were struggling to agree a fee. They was demanding a £42 million fee, I think, to Bayern Munich for this player. Ancelotti did say he is adamant that he's allowed to leave. He wants to leave the club so he can play first team football on a regular basis. Manchester United have been in there. AC Milan's struggling to meet the demands, but they have been in negotiations, currently the two clubs, of getting him on the board. He is a fantastic player. I do like him. He's a player that's also good because he's versatile. He can play on wide roles. He's good at driving forward also. And comparing him between Matic, in my opinion, Matic is more highly experienced, obviously because he's a lot older, and Ronaldo Sanchez is only 19. But I think overall, in a midfield, Ronaldo Sanchez would complement Herrera, Pogba, and all your other players in the midfield. But I think with Ronaldo Sanchez, Matic, he doesn't do that. I think Matic will cooperate well if he does when he's in the midfield with good players such as Pogba, Herrera, and all that. He will complement them fantastically well. But between Sanchez and Matic, I'd rather take Sanchez any day of the week. Obviously, regarding the experience, I would take Nemanja Matic over him. But realistically now, it does look like we're going to be getting Nemanja Matic. He's been at Benfica, he's been at Vitesse. Mourinho's got a good pedigree, he's proved it in the past. He likes to get tall players in. He likes, and he's looking to get that. He's looking to reunite with Matic after working with him at Chelsea before. I think they've got a fantastic bond. He is tall. He has done well for Serbia. He has done well in recent seasons with Chelsea. He's won honours, winning a couple of league titles. Abramovich had sanctioned this off, basically giving him the green light to currently leave the club. He has been training with Eden Hazard. He has been currently training on his own. He didn't go to Asia with the rest of the Chelsea squad, did Matic. Di Marzio had announced basically, well, we were potentially very, very close of making a deal for Matic. We expect to be done by now. But yeah, I do think this Matic deal will get done. I don't know when, but it will get done. I do have reservations about him. He's not very quick. He is slow. He doesn't have much tempo to his play, Matic. But the way we're going in this transfer window at the moment, the only possibility of us getting a centre defensive mid now, the realistically one looks like Matic. So he may deliver the goods. He played in that instrumental role, didn't he, alongside Kante last season in the middle of the park. We've also had a couple of bids rejected for Matic. To me, he's not worth £40 million. Or is it 50 million going to be in it? Is it initially 40 million we're going to pay, or is it going to be 50 million pound that's been sanctioned out, or is that just a price tag? I'm not quite sure. But putting him to Renato Sanchez, I'd rather pay 40 million pound for Renato Sanchez. Bayern Munich have also suggested that he is available on a loan deal as well. Is this Renato Sanchez? But he's definitely going to be leaving. Whether he's coming to AC Milan, I'm disregarding that he will be coming to Manchester United now. I don't think he will be coming to Manchester United, so we'll have to forget about that. And also, yes, with the Neymar situation, as I updated you on a regular basis about what's going on with Neymar, now it's all change of scenery. Basically now, is it good? He's still confident that he's going to PSG. Apparently now it's been a change of scenery. He has agreed a 5-year deal. But with a 220 million or whatever it was euros release clause, it could be a change of scenery now. It could reduce to 210 million, including maybe Marco Verratti in that deal as well. This is what it could include in the deal. Oh crap, where there? It could. This could include in the deal. So it could be 210 million, but they've agreed a deal in principle for the player. They've agreed a 5-year contract. So there's been people who've had the says on this opinion. There's had Ronaldo who's had a matter in the say. Gerard Piqué's had a matter in the say. Cavani's had a matter in the say. You know, he's welcome to come to PSG if he wants. His performances for Barcelona in these pre-season games have been sublime, like there was fantastically well last season. 13 goals, 11 assists. Combines fantastically well with Messi and Suarez. He has told his friends that he is leaving Barcelona. There again, he's told Messi, Suarez he's staying at Barcelona, so he keeps changing what he's doing. Barcelona in general are still confident he'll stay with the club. The club president is still confident he'll stay with the club. We know the PSG owners have been in discussions about a potential move for Neymar with Barcelona. The PSG chairman's basically trying to get this deal finalised, which has been going on now for the last week. Currently, Neymar's father's been in discussions with the PSG officials trying to get a deal finalised. And he's very, very convinced it will happen. They missed out on him before, but there has been interactions with them two clubs since then, even though they missed out on him before. He's still got a 5-year... He signed a 5-year contract, did Neymar, for Barcelona. But he is 25. He is highly experienced. He's probably one of the most efficient players in world football at this moment in time is Neymar. But whether the press conference, have they had the press conference? I'm not quite sure. But I don't know what's going to be happening with the future. I think he does want to leave because it will be beneficial for him if he's got Silva there, if he's got Alves and his teammates, and his performances for Brazil with them have been absolutely fantastic before as well. He's won mighty honours with Barcelona. So it's an hard decision because he's got a strong relation with Messi. But there again at PSG, he's got he's got teammates there as well, and potentially Barcelona are a much bigger club than PSG. So, PSG are a good team. They're probably the best team in France. Don't think potentially as good as Barcelona, but it's a very, very difficult decision. And basically, it is a very, very difficult decision to make. And with Alexis Sanchez, as I keep saying, he had the speculation been going on about this. Arsene Wenger's disregarded this basically. He's mistranslated the whole situation. He has no faith in the media. He has disregarded what the media is saying. He's still confident he will stay, Alex Sanchez, and sign another deal with Arsenal. And he's coming to the last stage of his contract. Sanchez has been demanding a £400,000 a week contract with Arsenal. He's been demanding that. I don't know if Arsenal are willing to pay that. Arsene Wenger's only offered him £275,000 a week. They did have that meeting. His agent Sanchez's and who was it now? The director. I think it was the director who was trying to get the deal finalised to discuss things through about a potential move. PSG were willing to pay over £40 million for the player. So, and that's including the agent fees and the wage as well. So that would come to a staggering amounts of money currently for that player. But now we know City have showed their interest, a team that spent over £200 million in this transfer window. They've also set their eye out on Kylian Mbappe. But now it's according to reports, Sanchez is keen on reuniting with Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Manchester City think they've got the finances now, basically, to pull these deals off of maybe Mbappe and Sanchez. Sanchez, I think, is keen on, so PSG now may have cooled their interest now in getting the play in the last couple of days. It all started when he insisted he wanted Champions League football. That was the main part of the narrative. He had the interview. Arsene Wenger's had a few press conferences, and he's basically said he's not currently going to be happening. But the difference is between Arsenal and City as well, and like PSG didn't win the League 1 last season, but they wanted to get that League 1 back this season. They wanted to be more of an elite opposition. They want to be competing for that Champions League. Obviously, they're a bigger club than Arsenal and PSG. But with City, they've got Champions League football. They've now bought into the club. They've bought some good players in there. So that may be Sanchez's preferred move. I don't know. Sanchez wants Champions League football. That's all I'm saying. And he's going to get it at PSG if he goes there. And he's going to get it in Manchester City if he goes there. First time Arsenal have not had Champions League football in 20 years. So, and he's done fantastically well with Barcelona as well. It's been speculating for quite a while now. Sanchez, I think he's desired to leave. He may not leave. I do not know the situation in this. As I updated you guys yesterday about the Kylian Mbappe situation, yes, it's still talks that are going on about this. This is going to become one of the world's most expensive teenagers if this deal finalises. But let's go in comparison now and comparing stuff, right? So Kylian Mbappe is 19 years of age. Oh, no, sorry, I think he's 18 years of age. Comparing him to Rashford, Rashford's a fantastic player, but there's no team would offer him £160 million. Obviously, Rashford's older than Mbappe, so they wouldn't offer him £160 million. Gareth Bale as well, another highly experienced player. He's won honours with Real Madrid. Real Madrid did pay £100 million for Gareth Bale, don't get me wrong, but he's more highly experienced than Kylian Mbappe. And then there's teams like Real Madrid and Manchester City put in staggering amounts of money, which will absolutely be astronomical business if the deal does get finalised. But take into consideration, you wouldn't even get Bale for probably 160 plus add-ons as well. And he's a quality player. It's just that Kylian Mbappe is probably one of the highest prospects in world football at the moment. He's not really a big club. They did have a success last season, Monaco, pressing to the Champions League semi-final and winning the Liga 1. But the Real Madrid and City are just judging one player. You're judging one player basically after an outstanding campaign with hitting the senior Champions League, scoring 29 goals in all competitions last season, and his performances for France are fantastic. But for me, it's a bit insanity judging one player after one outstanding campaign, and that's what you shouldn't really do. But yes, City are confident they can still get him on the board. They think they've got the finances. They're basically willing to pay. Wait there. They're willing to pay £143 million. Real Madrid are still in talks. It had reported that it was stemming from Spain. They'd agreed a deal in principle for Mbappe. Monaco perspective, it was rejected. It was never. It wasn't going to happen for the entirety of the summer. Real Madrid's plan has been offload some players, raise the funds, and it's obviously Real Madrid's main priority has been Eden Hazard. They've offloaded Morata. They've offloaded Rodriguez. They've offloaded Nelo. So they have raised funds. They have raised £100 million. Monaco have raised over 300 million. But if they were to depart, if they were to lose Mbappe, that'd be 500 million pound nearly that they'd gained, and depending what happens with Thomas Lemar as well, because I said Monaco don't want to lose a lot of their top players. You know, they've already lost Silva, they've lost Benjamin Mendy, they've lost Bakayoko, so they have gained money and they'll need to find them individual replacements. They have bought some players, but they just don't want to lose all the best players, and I think Monaco have been in talks about extending Mbappe's contract. But Mbappe, I did insist, is a Real Madrid fan, and that he is adamant that he does want to make the move to Real Madrid. This is basically being said. This is 160 million. This is including add-ons, which is for the appearances and the performances. Currently a 6-year contract as well, and depending on how Mbappe, how he progresses with Real Madrid, how he succeeds, it will be a payment structure as well. But for me, it'd be beneficial for me if we do get Gareth Bale out of this. Monaco will want to sell him. I think he may need a year to express himself raw with Monaco. And you know, they do need to offload Bale, do Real Madrid, if they want to get Mbappe on the board, so he's going to be guaranteed that first team football is Kylian Mbappe. But we know Manchester City are in the race. We know Real Madrid are in the race. Manchester City are still confident they can get him on the board. Real Madrid still may be in the ascendancy to get him on the board. But look at the deals over the years. Bale in 2013, Ronaldo 2019. You know, over the years for players, Pogba last summer, it's going to absolutely smash them deals. If the Neymar deal goes through, if the Mbappe deal goes through, it's going to smash all them deals to absolute shreds, and it's going to be absolutely astronomical business if this deal gets finalised. You know, we'll see what happens. And City have still got Aguero. They've got Gabriel Jesus. Aguero's not his preferred choice. Pep Guardiola's. It's Gabriel Jesus, but they've flourished when they played together, which is not very often. They still may need to address the midfield, Manchester City, but they've spent loads of money. You know, City have spent money. West Ham have even spent money. Arsenal have spent money. We've spent money on 2 players. I think we spent, how much did we spend last summer? Was it over 200 million? Something like that. We need to get a move on this transfer window and get the next player on the board as soon as possible. We know before numerous teams have been interested in Mbappe. We've been interested. Arsenal have had bids being rejected for the player. Liverpool have gained their interest. Numerous of teams have been interested in getting Kylian Mbappe on the board. I think Monaco are reluctant to sell him, but he personally, I think he wants to leave, does Mbappe, and that's a staggering amount of money for an 18-year-old lad. The Neymar case is an absolute staggering amount of money, but comparing them two together, Neymar's potentially a better footballer, he's at a much bigger club, he's more highly experienced because he's 25 and Mbappe's 18. I'm not slating Mbappe down, he's a fantastic high prospective player and he's absolutely quality. He's a prolific goal scorer, don't get me wrong, but Neymar's more experience, he's at a much bigger club, he's got a lot more fans behind him at Barcelona. And I think it's ridiculous, 220 million or whatever it is ridiculous anyway for any player in football. That is absolutely astronomical, because as I said, you can get a starting 11 with that team, you could even get 8 players in your team at least with that amount of money. But if I can't see maybe PSG finalising Sanchez and Neymar. I think they're most likely to get Neymar on the board of PSG. That's their most likely option. If they want to get both, it'd be... They've also got Dani Alves added on there as well. You're talking for both maybe over 300 million. Maybe nearly 400 million for both. That's including the agent fees and the wage. But Sanchez, I think now, it's inflated with PSG maybe now. I think he's more keen on making a move to Manchester City. Would Arsenal basically want to sell basically to a rival, a Premier League rival? I do not know. But yeah, and also Barcelona have basically had plans. They've had plans they've got plans basically. They've got some plans of Barcelona. I think they've tried being what would it said now? I forgot. To try and raise the funds for Neymar if he does depart the club, and then to basically try and get to hijack Mbappe off Real Madrid. And without a doubt, if Barcelona get them funds basically for Neymar, they've got that money to then pay Kylian Mbappe off, and that's really a good game plan. That's a good plan by Barcelona, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think they've also been interested in Philippe Coutinho, as I did pull out with you guys yesterday. Coutinho's a player who's good. He operates in that, is it number 8 or number 10 role for Liverpool. It broke out yesterday. They'd been in discussions with Coutinho's representatives and the officials over this. Work there, guys. Oh, what's this doing? That they had been in negotiations. It was stepping from Spain, and then it come to Britain. They arrived in Britain, discussed with the players' representatives, Coutinho's, and the representatives and the officials to discuss a deal. Liverpool have sanctioned it, basically saying the player is not for sale. I think he's a player that scored 13 goals last season. Was Philippe Coutinho, but he's strong, he's quick, he's very, very agile, he's good at driving forward also, and he does score goals. And Liverpool may benefit from the 89 rumoured fee or whatever it is. They'd benefit from that, but it would be hard for them to basically get an alternative replacement, as I think they have missed out on Naby Keita. Do you think he could be one of them, become a long-term successor if Coutinho was to go to Barcelona? I'm not quite sure, but now Neymar's also stirred up sessions urging Philippe Coutinho to join PSG. So I think Neymar does want to leave. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I do think that he does want to leave the club, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But there we go. Anything else to update on? Yeah, so Matic looks realistic. We potentially may still need a centre-back, depending what happens with Smalling and Jones. Maybe potentially need a left-back. And we need someone who's going to maybe lead them lines up front. I think we've got Lukaku. We've got Rashford, who's growing and developing into his game fantastically well. But yeah, there has been discussions going on. And with the Mbappe, you know, Monaco have got some players in, but they've raised money, just like Real Madrid have raised money. But they do need to offload Bale, basically, if they can get Mbappe on the board, guaranteeing first team football. This could mean we could get Bale. Bale's comparison to Perisic, as I said, is comparison to Forseberg, but that's an unrealistic target, you know. Obviously, it's an unrealistic target because Jose Mourinho's disregard that he basically said it's not possibly going to happen. He's not confident that we are going to get Gareth Bale for what he's achieved at Real Madrid, his outstanding performances, but I can't really see it. He only didn't get the game time last season because he was injury prone, Gareth Bale, but he's a player that's got tremendous speed, fantastic playmaker, very, very agile, and we probably would be, it'd be worth the money. We'd probably be coughing up 80, 90 million pounds for the player. But yeah, and also with the Neymars, I did say it has been a change of scenery. Supposedly a 5-year deal has been agreed with the two clubs, but it may be a change of scenery, because is it going to be 220 million or is it going to be 210 million, which Neymar, Verratti's worth 70, 89 million pound. Is he going to be involved in the deal as well? I do not know. But Verratti has changed agents. He's got Raiola now. He's sanctioned his current other one. Barcelona have been in discussions with the player, but Manchester United were coming in there to try and get him on the board, but I really can't see it happening now. He's a player that's good, he's quick, he's competitive, he's very tenacious. I'd love him at Manchester United, but realistically, doesn't basically look like it's going to happen. But yeah, Monaco won't want to sell a lot of their players. They've been a team that's been hard to negotiate with this season, you know. Arsenal want to get Thomas Lemar, they've had bids rejected. They've wanted to get Riyad Mahrez, but Leicester may be charging too much money, which is £50 million. So yeah, that's basically it. But they just don't want to sell too many of their players. Monaco, you know, Manchester City lost. They've done fantastic for the players they lost. They've replaced them fantastically well after losing Clichy, Zabaleta, and Bakary Sagna. They've done fantastically well. We've spent, is it just over £100 million now on 2 players? Jose Mourinho insisted he wants another player or 2 at least on the board. So yeah, guys, we'll see what happens. There's still quite a long time to go yet in the transfer window. There's still a month. I think it's still a month or so left of the transfer window, so there is still plenty of time. We didn't expect at this moment in time, you know, with how long the transfer window's been open, you know, to only have 2 players on the board, because that's comparing, you know, City have got 5 players, Chelsea have got 3 players. But potentially we should have had deals done, you know, this summer. We should have had deals. Perisic deals should have been done, but you can't do out if Inter Milan had been stubborn. We should have had... what else were the other deals that we've been... We should have had the Griezmann deal done that basically got inflated because of the transfer ban, and it was upheld. He'd have been fantastic. He'd have covered that number 7 role fantastically well. Didn't happen. Mourinho could still look into him in January. What other deals have we had rejected for players we've had that have been agreed and then they've been knocked back? Perisic, Griezmann, Talisca Anderson. That was one as well. There's numerous. I'm trying to think. There's that bleeding many out there. Yeah, so there's that many. I can't really bleeding name anymore. So there's been that many. There's been Talisca Anderson, Perisic, Griezmann. Been quite a lot. There's been quite a lot. We've been going for Danny Rose before. We've gone for a lot of players before. And what's that? Where's that? Just tell me someone's having technical issues. Yeah. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, Jose Mourinho, going back to talk about development as I started on my video. Going back, what did I say now? About Emil Forseberg, the current 25-year-old who plays for Red Bulls. Jose Mourinho's now showing more intentions on getting him on the board right now, as we're struggling to agree a deal with even Perisic. I think personal terms had been agreed. Talks have been going on. Ed Woodward's been trying to get deals finalised. Mourinho's appreciated him, you know, getting Lindelof and Lukaku on the board. But obviously Mourinho's going to be frustrated with the lack of investment so far in this transfer window. You know, struggling to get deals fully agreed. But it's just that we're not willing to pay the £48 million that Inter Milan are asking for. And it's as simple as that. And he's not worth £48 million. We could use that £48 million on a much, much better player than even Perisic. And arguably, you could say Forseberg is better than Perisic in some aspects of his game. Probably he's more highly experienced, Perisic, but yeah, I just want that width where players are going to get balls into the box, and we're not seeing enough of that, you know. A player on the width that can drive forward and beat a fullback, get across into the box, that's what we want. And we need that speed and that inspiration in that midfield, because we are very, very lacking that. And you saw in the Barcelona game, we looked static in the midfield. Too easily predictable in the midfield. We were getting closed down too easily. There was too much space in the midfield. And yeah, so we know where the problems lie. And this definitely needs to be currently fixed. Mourinho's also tried for Dyer. Tottenham have resisted and they reluctant to sell him. They'd had negotiations back before with Danny Lever, Ed Woodward and someone else. But never happened. He was basically knocking it back. Never happened. Mourinho was prepared to pay 60 million pound for the player. Would have been one of my main priorities, but I would prefer him over Nemanja Matic. Nemanja Matic is better than Fellaini. I will give him a positive in that aspect, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments and likes below on the video and take it easy, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.